It's been 12 months and 18,000 miles since I installed these Falken WildPeak AT tires on this Honda Pilot. In today's video, we're going to talk about how those tires have held up to 18,000 miles of use in both the summer and winter driving. We're also going to measure the tread wear. From the factory, these tires come with 11/32 inch of tread. I want to find out how much of that tread have I worn off over these 18,000 miles. I bought these tires last year because the OEM tires on my Honda Pilot were at the end of their tread life. In addition to that, I wanted something a little more aggressive so that when I'm driving in snowy conditions, I wouldn't be slipping and sliding all over the road. I decided to go with the Falken WildPeak tires because they do have the triple peak snowflake rating, so although they're not actually snow tires, they are very good at handling in the snow. After doing a little bit of research on what kind of tires were available, I looked at all-terrain tires, mud and snow tires, and I settled for these 3-peak mountain snowflake tires that are the Falken WildPeaks. I wanted them because they're more like an all-season tire with a little more emphasis on the snow and rain handling. And since I lived at the time in the Northeast region, I wanted something that handled great in the snow, but would also get me through the summer without having to swap tires out. So I could talk about these tires all day, but I do have a little bit of snow on the ground, and I have this really nice field over here. So let's go get in the vehicle and see how this thing handles in this snowy field. It does get a little squirrely, but it handles a lot better than those OEM tires did. These tires at the time cost around $200 each, and I believe they still cost around $200 per tire right now. Compared to the OEM tires, these tires have a lot better handling. And they also have a longer tread life, which kind of surprised me because I would have expected the OEM tires to have a much better tread life than these aftermarket tires, especially because these aftermarket tires are better rated to handle the snow and the rain. But if I had replaced my original tires with another set of OEM tires, it would have cost me about the same amount of money. For the projected life of these tires, I'm gonna get an extra 20 or 30,000 miles out of these tires. Of course, if I'm not out doing donuts every day in the snow. There's absolutely no way I would be able to climb a hill like this with the snow and ice that's on the ground in any other kind of tire except for at least a snow tire, or in this case, these Falken WildPeaks. So overall, of the 18,000 miles that I have on these tires, I've put about 2,000 or 3,000 miles on them strictly in the snow, and these things handle perfectly. Keep in mind that when I do drive in the snow, I still understand that these tires do have limitations, and I try to drive within those limitations. I would be going about 30 or 40 miles an hour in the snow on the interstate. I could possibly go a little faster, but I feel pretty confident as I'm passing all the cars on the side of the road that I'm driving within the limits of the tire and I'm going to get to my destination safely. So one thing I want to be clear about is these Falken WildPeaks, the AT version that I have on my vehicle, are not actually snow tires, but they handle really good in the snow. So for me, these are perfect for just having one set of tires on my vehicle. Although these tires do have that triple peak mountain snowflake symbol on them, they're still not actually snow rated tires. They're just rated to handle much better in the winter, and they actually work. I have not had any problems going anywhere with these tires on this vehicle. The 4 tires cost $209 each. When you add in taxes, mounting and balancing, and tire recycling fees, it just rounds out to about $1,000. If you want to know the current price for tires like this for your vehicle, be sure to check the link in the video description. Now we're going to find out how much of the 11/32 of an inch worth of tread is remaining on these tires. To check all 4 tires, I'm going to go to the centermost part of the tire so that I get a consistent reading across all 4 tires. The first one is about 9.5. This one's about 8. This one's also about 8, and this one's about 9.5. So the 2 front tires are at about 9.5/32 of an inch remaining, and the 2 rear tires are at about 8/32 of an inch remaining. For me, that's not very bad. Over the last 18,000 miles, these tires have only gone through about 2/32 of their tread life. So I feel like over the lifetime of 65,000 miles, I could get the full life of these tires before needing to replace them again. Overall, I'm satisfied with the performance of the Falken WildPeak tires. I think when I replace them, I'm gonna buy these same tires again. Two things to consider. First of all, these tires are not your maximum mile per gallon tires. They do probably get a little worse fuel economy than you would get off of a tire that is designed for maximum fuel economy. I already have these roof racks on the vehicle, so if I really wanted to do a fuel economy test with these tires, I'd probably pull those off and see what I do. Also, you might think that you would experience a lot of road noise, but I haven't really noticed anything too crazy. Some of the more off-road tires that I've experienced have that kind of want, want, want sound. I don't get that when riding down the road with these tires on the vehicle. This video is sponsored by the subscribe button, so if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe.